He's going. My lucky boy found myself a 340. Never really been into small blocks much, except for the last year or two. But it's a rare opportunity in Australia that you find yourself a 340 Chrysler. So I'm at least going to go and have a look at it. It's a bare block, and it's at a reasonable price. But I'm headed west, due west out on the plains in the wheat belt. Look at that, God's country, mate. Bloody beautiful. Heading for the SA border. So I don't know if you can see this, but we're in the Western District now. Yeah, headed for the SA border, just over the other side of just into South Australia. The 340's awaiting me, so I'll have a look at it. It's the guy reckons it might have thrown a rod or something. It's got some problems in the bottom of two of the cylinders and might need sleeves, he says. So we'll just suck it and see. We'll have to get out and have a look and find out. I gotta just have a little general look over it, see if there's any cracks or whatever, see if it's worth taking a chance on. Alrighty. Well, there we are. It's you can see this 1970. Means it's not an Australian block. So being that our engine numbers were stamped here, that's a telltale as well. Our engine numbers were stamped there, and American engine numbers were stamped here. So it's definitely a 1970 Windsor Engine Plant 340. Didn't ever think I'd own one. Just too hard to find in Australia. We do have, there's a reason that it was cheap. You can't see. It's got a repair. Thrown a rod at some stage. Probably why it was exported from the US. Can anybody tell me what car this came out of? So it's been grouted. It's thrown a rod. They've put grout. You can't see nothing, but I'll turn it over and I'll show you what we got. Okay. You can see here. Maybe you can't. It's a bit too bright. I might get a light. Hang on. Yeah, you can see damage there. Damage there. You can see here where a rod bolt's actually smacked in. You can see the thread marks. But so what they've done is wherever it's punched through, they've just filled the water jacket. So yeah, you can see the concrete there. Around that cylinder. Sorry, hang on. Camera works pretty secondhand, but it's virgin bore. Had a good look in and around, It's a repaired 340, but it's a 340. When to bolt that on. Not very nice. All right, so here she is on the stand, back in the shed, ready to roll. Or ready to probably just get taken back off to the machine shop for crack testing. But the old Loner 318 is still here. It's got to go. But I just want to explain something. So the might seem a bit random that I've bought a 340, but so a couple of years ago, this is my 360. A couple of years ago, I bought a blown up 360. Where is it? Here it is. There she is, blown up 360 that got 2 sleeves and a set of pistons and so on and so forth. But the jam is it had, so the 360 blew through a rod and or broke a piston and then threw a rod as a result. Not really sure what went first, but the 360, I bought it. It came with Chinese alloy heads, the air gap manifold that's currently on the Bumblebee 318, and it came with a bunch of different stuff. But the plan was all it needed was a sleeve, a rod, and a piston. Turns out the pistons aren't made anymore. The rod took ages to get here, and it needed 2 sleeves. So I ended up with 2 sleeves and a whole new set of pistons, set of 8 pistons. And then I started to think about these rods. Are the rods going to be any good? I was sort of humming and hawing about, if one of them broke, are all the others going to break? Is it worth getting one rod? And the machine shop where I had it at the time, I had it at a machine shop, just getting some basic bits and pieces done, the sleeves and all that sort of stuff. They had a 416 rotating assembly sitting there, a 30 over 340 rotating assembly, and I bought it for the rods because I wanted to put the rods in the 360. Then when I tried to sell the pistons and the crank, no one was buying. So I've still got a set of 30 over 416 flat tops. They're actually in a box up there. They're diamond flat tops, so they're a very, very good quality piston. I've still got the rods, so I've got a rotating assembly for this 4-inch crank, prepped factory rods, and a diamond piston. Now, I think what I'll do is I'll put the scat rods in the 360 and just take the chance that one of them broke, but it may have been a piston that broke first and then the rod went as a result. But long story short, I've got a 4-inch crank, prepped rods, and diamond pistons for this with rings and bearings. All this needs to be is machine 30 over and decked and squared and cleaned and all the rest of it. So long as it's not cracked, that's what we're up to. So obviously the 360 is fully machined, so it'll be built first. But the intake test is kind of changing because we were going to do the 318 that's in this with 3 different intakes, and then build the 360 and do 3 different intakes on that. Now we're adding to it, do a 416 as well. The as to what cam and heads, I've got a set of 587s. In all honesty, I think I'll use them with the small chamber in the alloy heads. If I put the alloy heads on this with 416 cubes and flat top pistons, it'll be 12-to-1 compression. So I'll put the factory heads on it. That'll be 11.5. I've got 205 valves to go in those 587 heads. I'm thinking maybe just find an old purple shaft or something like that as far as cam goes, but I wouldn't mind keeping the 416 as low maintenance as possible. Maybe a bolt-on non-adjustable factory rockers and one of the old school slow ramp hydraulics or something like that, but we'll see how we go. That's kind of the plan at the moment, but yeah, we're just adding a stage to the intake test, I think. But anyway, lads, that's the introduction to the 340, and that's the reason why I bought it. But hopefully we get it off to the machine shop soon and get it crack tested. We'll go from there. So yeah, pretty exciting. Never ever thought I'd own a 340. Well, there she is, lads. Hopefully, yeah. Um, I'll get it to the machine shop this week, hopefully, and we'll see how it goes. Get it crack tested, and I'll hopefully do another update soon. But yeah, talk to you soon, lads.